Good day to everybody! The Unit 5 of the EDUC 12 or the Prof Ed 1 is all about the professionalization of teaching. This unit contains the basic laws on the professionalization of teaching, namely the Presidential Decree Number 1006, Republic Act Number 7836, and Republic Act Number 9293. At the end of this discussion, you should be able to compare PD 1006 and RA number 7836. Explain how the amendments in Republic Act number 9293 support the teaching profession, and discuss the importance of the three basic laws in the Philippine education system. Before we dive into the different laws of professionalization, let us first define the word professionalization. It is a process whereby occupations have become or seek to become publicly recognized as professions, according to the degree to which they meet the alleged criteria. So it can be seen as having two strands. One strand is concerned with the improvement of the status, and the other one is concerned with the improvement of the capacity of members to enhance the quality of service, or in education, to enhance the quality of education which is provided. The professionalization of teachers is under the Presidential Decree Number 1006 given by the late President Ferdinand E. Marcos on year 1977, providing for the professionalization of teachers, regulating their practice in the Philippines and for other purposes. It was in recognition of the vital role of teachers in nation building, and as an incentive to raise the morale of teachers, it is imperative that they be considered as professionals and teaching be considered as a profession. In this decree, the terms teaching and teachers were defined. The teaching refers to the profession primarily concerned with the classroom instruction at the elementary and secondary levels, in accordance with the curriculum prescribed by National Board of Education, whether on part-time or full-time basis in the public and private schools. On the other hand, teachers refer to all persons engaged in teaching at the elementary and secondary levels, whether on a full-time or part-time basis, including guidance counselors, school librarians, industrial arts or vocational teachers, and all other persons performing supervisory and/or administrative functions in all schools in the aforesaid levels and legally qualified to practice teaching. Also in this decree, the examination is written but the scope is not clearly enumerated. So the creation of the National Board for Teachers was done, and it was composed of Secretary of Education and Culture and Chairman from Civil Service Commission as co-chairman, and members are the Commissioner from Professional Regulation Commission and two members representing the private sector to be appointed by the President. The board shall have the following powers and duties. Appoint a set of examiners for every examination who will determine and prepare the contents of the board examination for teachers, hereinafter referred to as examination, in the elementary and secondary levels of instruction to be held at least once a year. Next is to determine and fix the places and dates of examination, appoint supervisors and room examiners from among the employees of the government who shall be entitled to a daily allowance to be fixed by the board for every examination day actually attended. Use the buildings and facilities of public and private schools for examination purposes. Approve applications to take examinations and approve the release of examination results. Another one is to look for time to time into the conditions affecting the practice of the teaching profession, adopt such measures as may be deemed proper for the enhancement of said profession, and or maintain of the professional standards and ethics. Issue, suspend, revoke, replace, or reissue professional teachers' certificate and administer oaths. Appoint subject to the provisions of existing laws such officials and employees as are necessary in the effective performance of its functions and responsibilities, prescribe their duties and fix their compensation. Another is to prescribe and collect examination and other fees as it may deem proper. And last is to promulgate rules and regulations and exercise such other powers functions, and duties as may be necessary to carry into effect the purposes of this decree. To qualify in an examination application, he must comply with the following requirements. He must be a citizen of the Philippines, that he is of good moral character, that he is free from physical and or mental defect which will incapacitate him to render efficient service. Another requirement is to possess the following minimum educational qualifications. For teachers in the kindergarten and elementary grades, bachelor's degree in elementary education or its equivalent. For teachers of the secondary schools, bachelor's degree in education or its equivalent with a major and minor or a bachelor's degree in arts or science with at least 18 units in professional education. And for the teachers of secondary vocational and 2-year technical courses, bachelor's degree in the field of specialization with at least 18 units in professional education. In order that the candidate may be deemed to have successfully passed the examination, he must have obtained a general average of at least 70% in all subjects with no rating below 50% in any subject. The examiners shall report the ratings obtained by each candidate to the board within 150 days after the last day of the examination, unless extended. Teachers who have passed examinations given by the Civil Service Commission or jointly by the CSE and the Department of Education and Culture shall be considered as having passed the board examinations for teachers. The board may consider their certificates of rating a certificate of eligibility or issue an entirely new certificate upon registration of the teacher and payment of the corresponding fees. Any person who shall practice the teaching without a valid professional teacher certificate or any person presenting as his or her own the certificate of another or other person giving any false or forged evidence in order to obtain a professional teacher certificate or admission to an examination, or any person assuming himself as a registered professional teacher, or any person violating any provision of this decree shall be penalized by a fine of not less than 1,000 pesos nor more than 5,000 pesos with subsidiary imprisonment, or to suffer an imprisonment of not less than 6 months nor more than 2 years, or both such fine and imprisonment at the discretion of the court. So that ends our discussion about the PD number 1006 series of 1976. Okay, next video will be about the RA number 7836 and also the RA number 9290. Okay, thank you for watching and listening. Have a nice day, everybody.